I actually completely forgot what it was I was doing. See what I mean? So, sometimes some of our stuff is completely homeless. So many of the thoughts in my head have nowhere to go. So I am not funded well within my life. Now, whatever the reason for that lack of funding is, has nothing to do with where my thoughts go. So I can think a thought, I can think of an activity, but there's no fundage to participate within that activity. So many of us just end up watching television or the YouTubes or something else to try and find a home for our thoughts, and it's not really productive. It's not a great thing. So I heard a quote. So a guy was talking about somebody else that said that success is like a rocket ship to the moon. They can't just stop and take a break in the middle of it. It just doesn't work. It just then it then makes it impossible to facilitate the goal, which is getting to the destination. And unfortunately, I have set myself up in a way with all these homeless thoughts, not thoughts of being homeless, although that would be much cheaper than paying rent, but all these thoughts of being homeless, all these homeless thoughts, is that a Freudian slip? So all these thoughts, I've been mowing the lawns, finally caught up with me. Knew I was forgetting something, but also that. Anywho, the mower. Don't know how well you can hear the mower, but the neighbour's mowing. That's what I was doing. So all these homeless thoughts, I almost said thoughts of homelessness, all these homeless thoughts, I'm working really, really, really hard to find a home for these things. So I've just applied to go back to uni to be a teacher, because some of these thoughts, some of these aimless ramblings inside my noggin will be much better utilized by being imparted to other people, like the atomic weight of oxygen and how a glass can't actually be half full on the planet Earth. It's always full of something. It's just not necessarily full of what you want it to be full of. So a half full of water, the other half might be full of air or some other invisible gaseous substance. Anyway, homeless thoughts. They're not necessarily all that productive. I've been trying to find a bus lately because we've been priced out of the house market for the moment in our current financial position that we're in. So we can't afford to buy a house. So I want to build a bus. So then in the new career that I'm hoping to get into, my holidays will be the exact same time as my wife's holidays, and it means we could drive to WA, or we could, in this bus, drive to the other side of the country or whatever else. There's a lot of places that we can drive. There's a lot of exceptional things that we can do. And that was my thought. But again, it puts me in a worse financial situation, but because of the homeless thoughts, that's all I've really been thinking about the last period of time. And then I just get upset that I can't facilitate this thing. So it's the same as the suburban farmer thing. I've written blogs and done videos, or at least started making videos and everything about it, and then it just hasn't eventuated for various different reasons, one of them being financial. Like, I decided to enter a roundabout with another car in it, more expensive than I wanted it to be, but less expensive than to justify an insurance claim. But it's basically a whole week's wage down the toilet to fix a car, all because for some reason I wasn't paying attention. And then we have so many distractions in our life, even unintentional distractions. The AC's too cold, the radio's on the wrong channel, whatever it is. Newer cars got that giant screen. I've made videos about it before. The giant screen in the middle that can't possibly in any way be distracting, but of course will be totally and for reals distracting. Sorry, I'm just trying to make the microphone not point at the lawnmower. Hang on. That's probably better. This whole video might be ruined because of that. But anywho, that was all I was saying. The thoughts of homelessness and living in a van, living in a bus, not living in a bus, but having a bus. So where I'm sitting now, this facility, this donga, this temporary room would actually be in the bus. So even though the bus would not be traveling around the countryside all the time, would get used a couple times a year at the very least, I would set it up as my studio. And I'd be able to set up another podcast studio in it. I could have 3 to 7 guests, depending on the electronics. And then I can get back to where I was going to be a couple years ago and just haven't been able to get back there. But it's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. But I don't really have a productive hobby. And this would give me a productive hobby and a definitive goal to get towards. So those both homeless thoughts and thoughts of homelessness would at least have a destination, like a rocket to the moon. Anywho, if you can't be good at it. Be excellent or, okay to one another. And that's all I've got to say about that. I mean, I could always say more, but that's, stuff and things.